Good morning, everyone, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. Today, I want to go over something that I think a lot of setters don't fully understand, and that is the BANT, B-A-N-T. Now, this is something that's actually very crucial to make sure that you're setting qualified appointments to your sales representatives, your closers, your whomever you're going to call them, senior advisors. Now, the reason this is important is because if you have a majority or all of them, you're actually going to have a high chance of them closing. So what this is B is for the budget, A is authority, N is need, and T is for time. Now, for the budget, it isn't simply saying, yes, I can afford it, no, I cannot. That is not qualification. You need actually either a specific number and not including what the ticket price is, because I have seen that on ones from setters before. They're like, oh yeah, they can afford the $299 or whatever it is. I'm like, that's not the budget. The budget is typically either up to a certain number, but typically in a range. And the range depends on the amount of money. So for an example, you could say 500 to 1,000 and that be okay. You can't say 1,000 to 10,000, it's too big of a gap. But you can say like 2 to 4. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure it's specific enough that can give you, okay, here's the range we're playing with, but not too wide where you can't really do anything with it. So that's the first thing. Now, when it comes to authority, this is the decision maker. A lot of setters are very common in as far as understanding about this, but in practice, it doesn't always follow suit. Some things could be simple as, do you have a partner who's doing this, or does your significant other know that you're doing this? This could lead you to believe that there could be someone else involved. Now, if they say, yeah, my husband's aware, but he's leaving me to it myself, then she's the decision maker. And if they say, well, she is, she supports me in everything that I do and everything like that, there is a chance that she is going to be part of the decision-making process in which you will have to confirm, okay, well, is she, helping with, any decisions that you're making, or is this where you can make the full decision about everything that happens? And that's where you get the clarification. Partners are pretty easy to figure out, especially if like you have a partner who's doing this with you, or are you doing this by yourself? Those will typically co-align with each other. So budget and authority covered now. Next is needs. Needs is a bit more challenging because it's very ambiguous, especially depending on how far you want to go into that role. Now, for setters, you want to get at least a level 1, level 2 if you can, but you don't need to go to a level 3. Level 1 is surface level. I want to make money. Okay. Level 2, I want to make money to provide for my family. Level 3, I want to provide for my family and bring additional income so I feel like I am actually an effective mother or I am a good parent. Okay. So the further down you go, the more in-depth and internalized they make it. Now, typically as a closer, you will get to level 3. It is not required to make a sale though. So keep that in mind. So the biggest thing here is figuring out why, right? Now, a lot of people that have gone ahead and even interviewed will typically just go to the point of, what are you looking to make out of this? Oh, well, I want to just make a side income, and they move on. Well, why do you want to make a side income? What's important about the side income? How much of the side income? And if you had this additional income, what would you do with it? And what would it allow you to, like, what would it allow you to do? Would it free up time? Like, why? Okay. Now, with the needs, there's typically 4 categories that I like to put them in. It's normally a family need, time need, money need, and no need. Okay. So these are very important because they're very common. Typically, it's I want to spend more time with family. So this is a family and a time. But then it's like, is it the time itself or the quality itself? That'll really put you in one or the other specific buckets. Now they could just say, I want more time so I can do whatever. I can travel, I can go and finally do different adventures, whatever they're wanting to do, but they need that time to be able to do it. You find this a lot with 9-to-5ers, and you'll typically find it with entrepreneurs who are doing a lot of physical work in itself, like plumbers, handyman, things like that. So those are the common areas, not only those areas, but that's typically where I see the most. Then, of course, we have money, right? Now, this isn't to be confused with, I'd like to have more money. Okay. Yes, it's a money need, but how far does this go? You know, some people hold value to money that it's like, well, if I don't have the money, then I don't find myself as successful. So it is a money-driven need, although there's still something on that third level going on, but you can tell that it's mostly about the money part of it. And that also kind of goes in with the fourth category of no urgency or miscellaneous. You can also call them um, people just hobbyists per se. Now, these people, they're like, I got all the time in the world. I don't care about the money. I don't really have family that I need to take care of. And I'm just looking something to fill up my time. Okay, well, why this? Why not crochet? Why not something else? Why this? Now, this one might not go as deep because it just depends on what direction they go. Sometimes they will tell you they don't need anything just because they're trying to hide it as well. So make sure you determine, is this the real issue or are you just hiding it away? So now, of course, is the time. Time has two meanings to it. The first is obviously how much time you're going to put into whatever you're doing. And the other is when you want to get started. Because they could put in, I don't know, 10 hours a day, but really at the end of the day, they're not really looking to get started for 2 months. I mean, that could be for any reason. You'd have to figure out why. But then it's like, okay, well, I shouldn't set them now because even if I did, they're not going to move forward. Okay. So this is one of the key things I wanted to give you guys today, because I know on any interview that I do, these are the key things that I'm looking for to see, are these things that you're actually qualifying for? If you have these and then it's just getting deeper involved with them, that tells me you have a good fundamental work in which something we can move forward with. So it's very important to practice these things and to make sure that you have them onto your calls the most that you can. Typically, depending on the conversation you have, most of the time you would be able to get all of them and the basics of the needs before you would transfer over to one of your senior advisors or closers. Okay. So with that being said, if you have any questions on the BANT framework, let me know in the comments below. I'll go ahead and go over that more in detail depending on what you need. And let's go ahead and let us get more sales.